Hey everyone, Tomas Tarkovsky here. Today we have the story of a scam that, as it turns out, has been going on for years on Mount Everest. Not too long ago, the story began coming to light, leaving the tourism community deeply outraged. This is the story of the Everest poisonings. Not too long ago, the story began coming to light, and the travel community was deeply outraged. This is the story of the Everest poisonings. So,
Everest, the roof of the world, a place where people test their limits and are willing to pay tens of thousands of dollars for a chance to look at the planet from a height of 8,848 meters. We're used to thinking that the main dangers here are avalanches, lack of oxygen, and freezing temperatures. But what if I told you that the ultimate threat is not the mountain itself? What if the very person you trusted with your life, your guide, actually has a vested interest in you getting sick? Recently, global media and Nepalese government commissions have begun uncovering a shocking truth. A massive criminal network has been operating on Everest for decades. They call it the helicopter mafia. Guides, tour operators, and insurance agents are making millions off of fraudulent rescue operations. And to achieve this, they are willing to do whatever it takes, even slipping laxatives or chemicals into their clients' food. Today, we will break down how this bloody business model works, why insurance companies are terrified, and how the dream of Everest has turned into a cash cow for scammers.
The cost of the illusion. Why the fraud works. To understand how this scam became possible, you have to look at the numbers. Climbing Everest is no walk in the park. It is a luxury product. The average price tag for an expedition ranges from $40,000 to $100,000. What exactly makes up this amount? A permit from the government of Nepal, $11,000. The organizing agency's services, oxygen tanks, gear, and food.
And a mandatory item, insurance. An insurance policy for a mountaineer is expensive, but it covers one critically important service: helicopter evacuation. A single airlift from base camp or higher points can cost anywhere from $5,000 to $20,000. There are hundreds of agencies in Nepal, and competition is fierce. To undercut prices and attract clients, some unscrupulous companies reduce the cost of the expedition itself below its actual cost. But how do they survive? The answer is simple. They make up their profits through kickbacks from helicopter companies and private hospitals.
The anatomy of the scam. How does this criminal network operate? Imagine this. You are a climber. You are a little tired and slightly short of breath, which is perfectly normal at an altitude of 5,000 meters. Your guide begins to fuel a panic. You have signs of pulmonary edema, they tell you. You won't make it. You need an emergency evacuation right now, or you will die. Terrified, the client agrees to the helicopter. The insurance company foots a bill for $15,000. From this amount,
The helicopter company takes its share. The guide or agency receives a commission, kickback, of $2,000 to $5,000. The hospital in Kathmandu where you are taken bills for intensive care that never actually happened. In 2018, the government of Nepal launched an investigation and discovered that over 13,000 highly suspicious helicopter flights were logged in a single season. In some cases, the exact same individual was evacuated multiple times a season under different names. But here is the catch. Climbers don't always want to evacuate. They are strong. They have trained for years. And this is where the darkest part of the story begins.
poison in the soup, making clients sick. If a client is healthy and raring to go, the scammers need to make them sick. The investigation uncovered shocking facts. On orders from agency owners, Sherpas and cooks were spiking climbers' food and drink with substances that mimic acute mountain sickness, AMS. What kind of substances? Massive doses of laxatives,
Severe diarrhea at high altitudes leads to instant dehydration. The climber weakens and gets dizzy, fully convinced they are suffering from altitude sickness. Baking soda. In large quantities, it causes severe stomach distress and intense nausea.
Contaminated water, deliberately ignoring hygiene standards to trigger intestinal infections. There were also cases where guides intentionally paced clients too fast to trigger altitude sickness symptoms on purpose, or gave false medical advice. From the official investigation, some guides added substances to their clients' soup that induced immediate vomiting. Immediately after, they would call a helicopter without even asking for the climber's consent. Why do this? Because for the price of one poisoned breakfast, an agency can net several $1,000s in pure profit via a helicopter kickback. It is far easier and more lucrative than hauling a client to the summit. The consequences? A shadow over the industry. This isn't just financial fraud. It is a game played with human lives. Diverted resources. Unnecessary helicopter flights tie up vital resources. When someone on the mountain legitimately needs saving, all aircraft might be occupied by commercial evacuations. Insurance backlash. Insurance giants like Allianz or AXA began sounding the alarm. At one point, they threatened to stop insuring climbers in Nepal entirely. This would mean the end of the whole industry. Today, premiums have skyrocketed, and proof of illness requirements have become incredibly strict, meaning people who were genuinely injured sometimes face delays in getting help. Ruined reputations? This tarnishes the reputation of honest Sherpas. Thousands of Nepalese make their living from the mountains. It is grueling, honest work. But these black agencies cast a dark shadow over the entire nation. Is there a solution? The Nepalese government promised to clean things up. New regulations were introduced. Now, every single evacuation must be verified by a government official. But at an altitude of 5,000 meters, where there is no police presence and communication is often spotty, the law belongs to whoever holds the walkie-talkie. The Everest scams are a grim example of how human greed can seep into even the purest, highest places on Earth. The mountain remains unchanged, harsh, majestic, and grand. But humans have turned it into a supermarket, where a client's life is just another line on a receipt. If you ever decide to conquer your own peak, remember, choose your guide by their reputation, not their price. And always keep a very close eye on what is being poured into your tea.
What do you think about this situation? Should commercial climbs on Everest be banned altogether to put an end to this bloody business? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. It really matters. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Here, we tell the truth about the world's most dangerous and secretive corners. This was Tomasz Tsakowski. See you in the next video.